Hello, and welcome to another episode of Child Abuse Awareness with Darlene J. Clark. Be a part of the solution instead of part of the problem. Today's story is about Joy Chandra Nath, suspected that murdered ex-girlfriend. How they found out was a 3-year-old was found wandering around with dried blood on her clothes and dried blood on her face. Happened in Miami-Dade, Florida. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is the use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips and balance in favor of fair use. Hope everyone's having a great day today and a better tomorrow. Enjoy the weather. So Matthew 18, verse 6, But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. We need to learn to do right, seek justice, defend the oppressed, take up the cause of the fatherless, and plead the case of the widow. Put trigger warning across the screen down here. Thank you so much for coming in here, Chris. Thanks everyone that's here. I appreciate y'all. Without further ado, we've got two different pages open. Excuse me, I hit the wrong button. Got two different pages open, and one's got a little bit more information than the other. So we'll go with that one right now. I want to give Gretel Aguila credit for this. Is that she wrote for the Miami Herald. 3-year-old watched her mother get killed in Miami-Dade, cop said. Ex-boyfriend cuffed. This is updated April the 28th. A 3-year-old found wandering a Miami-Dade neighborhood with blood on her face and clothing told detectives that her mother was now sleeping after her mother's ex-boyfriend hit the woman in the head, according to the sheriff's office. Joy Chandra Nath, 29, is accused of killing his ex, Maria Camila Garcia Molina. The 24-year-old body was found in her car, covered in blankets on the floorboard. She had sharp force injuries on several parts of her body, deputies say. Nath is facing second-degree murder and child abuse charges. On Saturday, shortly before 4 p.m., deputies found Garcia Molina's daughter alone in the area of the housing complex where they lived on Southwest 134th Court near the Hammocks in Southwest Miami-Dade. Garcia Molina's family members told detectives that Nath had a history of stalking her and that she had obtained a restraining order in the past. Here she is right here. Look how beautiful. She's a beautiful young lady. Adelija Molina is organizing this fundraiser. There's a fundraiser for Maria Camila Garcia Molina. She smiles in an undated photo. Sorry. And you can look up. I doubt you. I'm going to have to copy that and put that in the comments right here. Put that over here right quick. It's her GoFundMe for the funeral. This is what she's trying to get money. Camilla was the most beautiful and loving girl that you could ever imagine. She was a hard-working woman who had dreams, plans, and a beautiful future ahead that was taken away from her too soon. Her mother, Adalgisa, I don't know if I pronounced that right, Molina, set in a GoFundMe to raise money for Garcia Molina's funeral. Court records show Garcia Molina was granted a temporary restraining order. However, it was dismissed on February the 28th because Garcia Molina didn't attend a hearing. I wonder why. The day before Garcia Molina was killed, Nath followed her to Dolphin Mall where she was meeting with her boyfriend. Nath had an altercation, investigators say, with Garcia Molina's boyfriend. Before his arrest, deputies saw Nath entering Garcia Molina's neighborhood. He said he was there to return Garcia Molina's purse and phone and asked what happened because I saw her this morning. Excuse me. In a later interview with investigators, Nath said he had met with Garcia Molina and her daughter to eat breakfast at Starbucks. He said she gave him her personal items and they went their separate ways. He said he then went home, washed clothes, and decided to check on her and return her personal belongings after he got a call from Garcia Molina's brother asking about her whereabouts. Victim fearful of ex-boyfriend. In court documents, Garcia Molina described how Nathan stalked her after their 5-month relationship ended in November 2024. She expressed concern over Nath's persistent stalking behavior and feared it would escalate into physical violence. On January 29th, Garcia Molina's grandmother and uncle were walking their dog when the dog rushed toward Nath, who was hiding near the neighbor's trash can. Hey there, good to see you. Cash, thanks for coming in. Records show after Garcia Molina's uncle confronted Nath, he said he was there to give him. I hate how it goes like that. Sorry about that. That it was there to give his ex and her daughter something. While on an outing with her daughter on January 21st, Garcia Molina noticed Nath trailing behind her car. Concerned for her safety, she drove away from the area, according to court documents. The day before Nath allegedly approached Garcia Molina at a store parking lot, saying, "What a coincidence! You're here too." After their breakup in November, Nath came to her job with chocolates and flowers. She noticed that Nath was still in the parking lot and texted him to ask why he was still there. Nath court documents say replied, "I left something on her car." Garcia Molina later found an Apple AirTag attached to her vehicle. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So now let's go over here. Make sure there's no more, but I don't think it is. Okay. So let me get over here to this other one because it's got a little bit other information too. Bond denied for the man accused of fatally stabbing ex-girlfriend in the hammocks. Joy Chandra Nath, 27, is facing multiple charges, including second-degree murder and child abuse. I got 29, I think it said 27. A man accusing his ex-girlfriend in the hammocks in southwest Miami-Dade appeared before a judge on Monday. Joy Chandra Nath, 27, is facing multiple charges, including second-degree murder and child abuse. During his court appearance, a judge denied Nath's bail bond. Thank you. According to detectives, the investigation began when the victim's 3-year-old daughter was found walking around their Twin Lakes neighborhood with blood on her face and the clothes. Y'all see it right there? And this is thanks to NBCMiami.com. I'm giving them credit. Here is a culprit right there. That's him. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office said they found the body of 24-year-old Maria Garcia Molina on the floor of her car near her southwest Miami-Dade home on Saturday. Uh, Maria Garcia Molina's body was found with multiple stab wounds, deputies said. A neighbor who did not want to show his face spoke with NBC6. All I know is there was a dead girl on the side of my house, not even 6 feet from a fence. And it's horrible, she said. It's tragic. No one answered the door at an address listed for Garcia Molina, but another neighbor spoke of his disbelief. When you realize this happened 2 doors down, you say, hey, this is serious. This actually happened. So we are really sad for the family and really hope that the responsible get punished for sure, Yasmer Avila said. Court records revealed that back in January, Garcia Molina reported that Nath excuse me, put an air tag on her car and that her uncle spotted him hiding behind a neighbor's trash can and told him to leave. She filed a restraining order against him that month, but it expired in February. Hours after finding Garcia Molina's body, detectives took Nath into custody after pulling him over. Her 3-year-old daughter was not hurt. Thank God he did not abuse or stab the daughter, but the daughter said that mom is sleeping after the ex boyfriend had hit mama in the head. Near you, there was a pedo cut after a week agreement. Oh man, I'm glad that pedo was caught, Cash. Thank God. He will not face long jail time, and monitoring services are as underfunded as most essential protective services. Will he reoffend? Of course he freaking will. You're right. They will. They will reoffend. You got that right. Then they'll open an inquiry, and years later it will be brushed under carpet and no charges made. But many more victims of felon systems. That's right. 2025. We need to do better and priorities vulnerable. Yeah, you go like this and you get a lot more jail time if you do something to some other crime and stuff. But if you go like this and victimize a child, you don't get much jail time with that, and that's wrong. We need to do better, people. But they said the little girl wasn't hurt, right? But yes, she might not have been hurt physically, but she had her blood of her mama on her face and on her clothing. Hey, read the whirlwind. So you know that she is hurt tremendously psychologically. I don't know how bad. We need to be praying for that little girl's mental health, her safety, because that's something that's going to be traumatizing. Yeah, they are. It's the judicial system also. Remember when I did a story last year when there was this guy in Alabama and he rented space. He had like trailers and other things that he let people rent. But he would go in there and he got a 17-year-old to move out of the. She was going to move out of her home and go into another trailer. He said that you'll be able to go ahead and do that. And then he tried to have sex with her and everything. And, he didn't get no jail time that I could think of. And there was over 20 to 30 victims. And he got no jail time. It's like these people that's got money, they get away with it. This is sick and it's twisted. And, since he's out of jail, he's probably reoffending other people as well. Oh, they definitely do need changing. That's for sure. And we had so much proof against John Ramsey and stuff from somebody that knows him personally, that's victimized him, that's victimized his older daughter. And yet these people still think that John Ramsey is so innocent. Yeah, we live in an archaic system still. That you got that right. Laws need changing big time. Here in PA, if you are 5 or years than your girlfriend, you'll get thrown in jail. Wow. Even if it's does it have to be a minor for that to happen, Chris? Because I know some people that's with them it's 15 years, and so hey, Nam, good to see you. It could not. Yeah, not all the states are the same. It's like some of the people don't even have an age range when you can even marry them. Remember, we went over that not too long ago? It's a sick and twisted world. You get that right. God bless you, Nam, also. Thank you. And really, when you go and you let a kid marry a grown adult, okay, and you go and abuse her, that's not going to make her an adult sooner. She's still a kid. So if she gets abused, she cannot go into an abused woman's shelter. She has no kind of safety to get away from this um, guy, the perpetrators. Lessons to you too. Oh yeah, because when we went into it the other day, there was two states here in the United States that had no age limit for a child to get married to a grown adult. No age limit for marriage whatsoever. And California was even saying, well, we don't, that's not right for us to put in an age thing because we're stopping these young girls from being able to have kids. And when they want to have kids, the young kids, these kids need to be kids. They don't need to worry about being a mom at such a young age. What you talking about? Yeah, that is very crazy. Yeah, exactly. Different states. There's some states that don't let you marry unless you're 18, but then some states it's bad because even if the parent says no, you cannot marry, if they go to a judge and they want to marry young, the judge could go ahead and marry this adult to a young girl. See, and that's wrong. That's wrong. That's victimizing and letting pedophilia continue and letting victimization of our children continue as well. Legally, letting them do it. And I think if a judge does something like that, he needs to go to jail too for this. Cash and maybe an Ophelia when feigns insanity and the other goes insane. John and Patsy. Yeah. It's very sick. It's very sick when like California said I think it was what is that Planned Parenthood? That's who it was that was saying, that we're stopping these young girls from legally being able to have children if we go and put these age brackets. It's very sick. Yep. So we got to advocate. Get to know done in a few strings on age two. Yeah. And so in Pakistan, there's many cases, sometimes feeling very helpless, thinking what to do, how to save these innocents. That's right. In Pakistani, y'all got a really big problem there too. And then some of these kids are made to have kids just so that they can continue on um, ha doing things sexually to the kids that they're going to end up having with this kid. We're helping the legal system is helping that continue on. Yes, we develop at different rates and here common sense angle, but legally the laws need tightening. Exactly. Back in the day, back years ago, when people got married when they were 15 years old, they had to mature earlier. They knew how to scrub the clothes and they knew how to work gardens and can and do the livelihoods. It didn't take much. And but now, day and time, nobody knows how to do anything. There's even a lot of adults that don't even know how to cook dinner, or clean a house and whatever. So it goes a lot with the mentality, but I still believe that a child should not be able to get married. Both of my sisters got married before they were 18, and both ended up in divorce. But I got married at 18, and mine ended up in the divorce about 19 years later. But the reason I divorced because I got tired of the bruises and broken bones. It had nothing to do with. I thought that he would not be abusive to me. Thank God I'm still living after everything that's happened. UK, you ain't prosecuting a 16-year-old has relations with a 15-year-old, but could have deemed. Yeah, there's some that's actually going to happen. The parents want a child to be prosecuted, say on rape or something like that, but and the girl or whomever would say it was rape, and yeah, rapes happen and stuff, and but sometimes it's not rape, and they get accused falsely. But then you got these cases when it is rape. People think that, oh, I like to have a child, and they're thinking like, but are you ready to have a child? Oh, I could get me a job. Okay, but you ain't got no job. You ain't got no health benefits. You ain't got your own house, your own place, be able to have your own food and all that kind of stuff. Are you really needing to have a child if you're not going to be able to provide for a child? But sometimes when you are raped or whenever you do have a child, you want to continue having a child and you don't want to give up that child. And you do get help. There are other loving people who will end up helping with that. At my place, a 13-year-old gave birth to a daughter. I was crying to see her, and she didn't know who do what to everybody, but she said, I didn't see his face, so what to say? Oh, wow. So basically, he had raped her, Anam? Mostly the charge comes in. A 20-year-old and a 15-year-old are likely charged. You get my point. As friends who were active at 12. But then you got some problems also with some 12-year-olds look like they're 18-year-olds. They grow up and develop quicker. So sometimes they'll lie to a person and say, I'm uh, 18 years old and consenting. And then later on, they find out that this was not a consenting, that this was a child. And some people get charged that way too. So many different cases. Exactly. Rape aspect needs to have legal protection, whether utilized with common sense when it is consent. Yeah, no means no. Exactly, Cash. 30 Grayson. Oh, bless her heart, man. Bless her heart. She did not deserve. And it does not make her less person. Let her know that there's a lot of people that genuinely care for her. If you see her around, give her the love and guidance that she needs in them, okay? Let her know that a lot of us out here do care for her. Say common sense and the law need to go hand in hand. Exactly. I know my sister wanted to get married because she tried two different guys to get pregnant with to get married at 15, and luckily she didn't get pregnant. Hey Jackie, long time no see. Been missing you, girl. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. There are too many incidences, where children are being hurt, and like this above, this guy that this little girl that saw the mother murdered, she's gonna have problems. And this was, oh, and somebody says nobody talks about the feelings that goes along with losing a child. Whenever you have a grandchild or something like that that was murdered, I mean, it's really devastating whenever you have these children that are murdered or raped or anything like this. You don't know, you can't even begin to realize the devastation, really. Because when I had, either I had blocked it out or they did the MK Ultra on me, I'm not sure how I ended up not remembering. But years later, I remembered it. And when I remembered it, I was so suicidal. I mean, I was so mad. I had trouble sleeping. I just wanted to die. It's like it's too much to go on. Good luck with your doctor visit there. Sorry for the bad word. Whenever I thought about the girl, I had tears in my eyes. And after the birth of her daughter, oh, she died. The 13-year-old did, or the baby died. Wow. Did the guy on the screen murder his ex girlfriend? Is that yes? He murdered the ex girlfriend? He stalked her, but how they ended up finding out and looking for him because the daughter was found walking around the area. 3-year-old daughter. She had blood on her face and blood on her clothing, and she said, "Mommy's sleeping." After this guy hit mommy in the head. Missing you. Missing you bunches. So good to see you. I've been missing you so much. I'm so glad. Rape, one of the most personally intrusive crimes that needs expedite, not delayed. Exactly. And you go like this a lot of times and you tell a cop or something like that, and DA, like that happened to me even as an adult. And I went to tell, and they said, "Well, you'll have trouble. They'll drop. They won't to go ahead and prosecute. They won't go ahead." Said because a lot of times the jurors this is what he told me. He said a lot of times the jurors won't release somebody. He said this one girl, she was raped and pulled into a vehicle, and because she was not wearing panties, they almost did not charge the guy with rape because the girl wasn't wearing panties. How would the guy know that she's not wearing panties until they had done pulled her into the vehicle and pulled her pants down and then seen she was without panties, okay? And then you saying that they weren't going to prosecute the guy just because when they pulled down and that she wasn't wearing no panties? Do what? Excuse me? Oh, I'm sorry the 13-year-old girl died. That's horrific. After giving birth. Who asked for it? What do you mean, cash on she asked for it? What do you mean? That's some of the things they'll say. Well, she asked for it, you know. They'll come up and say all kind of different stuff, you know. Or what's the Jodie Foster film Accused again other day? Still happening in 2025. Yeah, it's happening big time. Oh yeah, she asked for it, you know. It's her fault she wasn't wearing panties, and she even had a dog with her. She was walking her dog, and this was around Gunnersville, Alabama. Um, and a guy just pulled up and pulled the lady into the vehicle and raped her. And um, for this DA to tell me that they almost didn't prosecute the guy, the rapist, just because of the fact that she wasn't wearing no panties under there. So I'm like, are you for real? Are you seriously for real there? Yeah, it's disgusting. Very disgusting. So this guy, like I was saying, did you get to see the girl's face? She's a beautiful young lady. I think I closed her page off. But let me see if I can find her again, or I could show you the lady that. Let's see. Let's see. This is the one that's got her picture on it. Let's see. Of the victim. Okay. This is another picture. It's not the same picture, the StreamYard so that you can see it. Okay. Here's green. Here she is right here. She's a beautiful lady. See? This is her. But they said that she had trauma to her neck and to her chest and other areas. Here she is right here too. See, she had police noticed scratch marks and bruising on her face, neck, and arms. Nath allegedly told police he was planning on returning some of Garcia Molina's items, which were in his possession. I thought he said he already returned them to her. Why would he even have a purse and stuff like that? Anyway, I'm sure she would not leave the purse with him. The PER waived his right to an attorney and provided a recorded statement saying he spent time with the young mother and daughter earlier that day before breakfast, according to a report, which he probably forced her and he probably went over there. You won't leave her alone, right? A search of his vehicle revealed a slew of Garcia Molina's possessions, including a purse, her cell phone, and several other forms of ID. See there? Cell phone data shows she traveled from her apartment to Nath's residence, then back to the lot where her body was found, the outlet reported. Well, you know, probably traveled from her apartment to Nath's residence and back to the lot where her body was found. Nath was denied bail at the arraignment Monday, court records indicate. There he was right there. Natalie Nath allegedly later returned to the crime scene in a black Lexus with the headlights off while investigators were still processing the crime scene. Too bad she didn't make it to the court, you know, for that court date so that the restraining order was canceled in February. And she didn't make it in January 31st. It said that Garcia Molini's body was found covered in blankets on the rear floorboard of the car, which was also splattered with blood. The arrest report noted that it was spattered with blood. I think you need to say splattered. Wow, very graphic. Let's see what you say. Let me scroll up to what you said here, so we get the full gist. Okay, there's a comment on defense lawyers. She she was drunk, so discussing how they rip victims apart. Yes, it is very much so. I ended up in the hospital afterwards. My boyfriend at the time was saying that, oh, you had an affair, so I'm going to go sleep with somebody. And that tore me apart, mentally. So many did not have strength to go to trial. A rapist remained free in society. Had an ex whose stepfather raped her, and that was what basically occurred. She never recovered. Whoa. She never got justice. Her mom supported the stepdad. Was he the one that did it? Was his stepdad the one that raped? I think he said. Yeah, it said. Let's see if that's what you had said a minute ago. Yeah, her stepfather raped her, and that's basically occurred. She never recovered. I met her in a self harm group, so figure how her life. Oh, bless her heart. Just got home from a doctor's appointment. Good to see you, Jackie. Oh, Lady O. Thank you. Her bio mom supported him over her. That's ridiculous when they go to do that. That's the same as, oh, that's about like my mom did, though, when she saw my dad raping my sister when she was like 7 years old. I think it was. She said she was like 7 or 9. I'm not sure. I was 2, so I can't remember what she had told me years later because I don't speak to her now. But she said mom walked in on my daddy raping her, and my mom beat her. Said, "Well, you're trying to steal my husband." Isn't that horrible how they blame the victim? It's crazy. It's crazy how they do that. Support and later she put daddy in jail that same day, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then she went back and got him out of jail. And my sister seen him arrive back at the house with a shotgun, and my sister ran and locked the door. And she said, and daddy started shooting in the windows and is trying to shoot me. Said that I was 2 years old and that the glass and the shards of wood were going everywhere. And I just stood there. I didn't know to get down at age 2. Okay. And so she said she had to push me to the floor and lay on my body. And the shards of the um, wood and the glass was going around and hitting her bottom instead of hitting me. So she protected me. Thank God she's still alive. But yes, we need to stand up because there's a lot of crazies like my dad. Thank God I didn't die. Yeah, they were worse than codependent. They were actually, like us, y'all know that they started selling me from age 2. So they already had me conditioned by age 2 to lay there and take it whenever they did whatever. Your own blood, your own parent who is meant to protect you sides with the abuser. I mean, what mind can process that? Exactly. Then you start feeling like you're unloved. What are you going to do when your own parent don't protect you? you don't feel like you're safe to tell them anything ever again, you know? I feel for her. I understand tremendously. Of course, I never told nobody, my parents, because they were actually the ones that were doing it, so I couldn't go to them and complain, right? But what are we gonna do when we got people like that and with the system and you got your parents? Nowadays, if you try to tell a teacher, you try to tell a cop, but then when you hope that the cop you tell is gonna protect you and not be a part of the trafficking in itself too, who do you go and tell? Who are you gonna trust? Because there's a lot of ones that's in the societies that judges, lawyers, and whenever Charles Rogers comes in here and shares his story, there's judges over there, there's police officers over there, and I know that they never did protect me either. Hard to trust people if you can't trust your parents. You don't have both parents' views, then surprised and glad you are still here to tell your story. Oh yeah, I don't even know why I'm here. Seriously, because like my stepmom, when she came into the picture when I was 4 years old, I didn't even know her doing this, but she kept saying she did this to me when I was 15 years old. She told me about it. She said, "Well, I stopped your temper tantrums when you were 4 years old by holding your head down in a sink full of water until you lost consciousness. That fixed you from crying about anything." And it really wasn't temper tantrums. It was being hurt. Thank you so much there. So I don't really know. It had to be God that he's the only reason I had to survive had I not drowned, you know. Had I not drowned when she held my head down and sink full of water while I went unconscious, usually people drown, right? I was shocked when she kept telling me that. I was like, what? Well, thank you so much, Cash. I want to say that, I didn't do it on my own. And for so many years, and then like that lady said, we don't discuss too much how people feel, when they lose a child, when there's loss. But y'all, it is devastating. So please pray for. Remember that Cole little boy that we did a story on, where the mother didn't feed him for over 40 something hours. Y'all remember that story? The grandparents are having a rough time, so please pray for them. Yes, thank God for God doing that. And at times, I do have traumatic brain injury, so I have trouble getting a little bit of the thoughts out there. But I'm still trying to do my best on advocating. It is kind of hard with this brain injuries too. Thank you so much. They would appreciate that. They said they're struggling and can't get but a couple hours sleep and stuff, and nobody ever talks about um, the emotions and the grief that goes on with it. But thank you, Cash. They would appreciate even getting the positive energy. Appreciate y'all. So thank y'all so much. I knew I had to come in here and get this out there about this, even though it was an adult that was murdered. She deserves justice, and the 3-year old deserves justice. This should have never happened. Uh, Scary. He had that Apple tag put on a car, And every time she looked around, he was there. I'm wondering, the police said that, see, he had her phone. How did we not know that he was in the back of her car? You know what I'm saying? Oh, thank you. How did we not know whether or not this guy was really in the back of her car? Because he was stalking her, right? How did we not know that he grabbed her when she was going to her car when the daughter and got her over there where she lives and had done what he had done, right? How did we not know? And then he walked back, with her purse and everything and her uh, phone and everything. Might even forced her at his residence, might be why the phone was over there. But if he went back home and he showered and then the brother asked where it was at, that was a dead giveaway to me when he said he was showering when her brother called looking for her. So I'm like, you're washing the blood off? You're washing her blood off of you? It's like, wow, right? Wow. And he said that he had already returned her purse and phone to her. And if that's true, how come he was caught with a purse and a phone, right? So a lot of things are suspicious in this case here, you know. She was right on his violence, and I'm grateful that he did not murder the child. But as far as they said he didn't hurt her, she is hurt emotionally, okay? Walking around with the blood of her mother on her face and on her clothes. She was right there when he did all that. Well, thank you so much, and God bless each and every one of y'all. Yeah, so many unanswered questions. That's right. God bless you all. Thank you.